recap, for practicing, for practicing and for checking a couple of, well, the session is being recorded, by the way. For discriminating the 3 different domains for learning grammar or learning vocabulary. This was the objective, I asked you to do that in an attempt to shed light on form. What is form? Well, spelling, pronunciation, structure, and patterns. The other one is meaning, what the word means, what the phrase means, what the structure means. It could have different meanings, such as a phrasal verb. A phrasal verb like get at. Get at has got different meanings, and you need to know the meanings, but not only the meaning and the form, but also you need to know when and where the use of the word should be appropriate. That is, the context of the use of the word is also relevant for your learning, and that's gonna be meaningful learning. Okay, whenever you have these 3 different dimensions: form, meaning, use. Today, to continue working with these different elements and varieties of language, I want to continue with I want to go on with cultural diversity. Okay, you have already worked with minimal pairs, with idioms, irreversible word pairs, phrasal verbs, the International Phonetic Alphabet, the schwa, different things we've been doing here in the course. Now, let's move towards cultural diversity. I'm gonna share my screen with you so that you can attend the presentation, okay? This is the presentation. Let me know if you can see the presentation. Okay, here we are. Learning strategies. What is the reason why we really need to know minimal pairs, phrasal verbs, idioms, understand slang, and to go over these varieties of language? Well, basically, because we want to understand, okay? Because we want to be understood at the same time. That is, we want to produce, we want to express, and we want others to listen to us in order to be understood. We also want to know from others, we want to receive messages, we want to understand them. So here we would be linking both receptive and productive skills, integrating the 4 language skills: speaking, which is a productive one, writing, a productive one, and receptive ones, reading and listening. In order to integrate the 4 skills and to work on the 3 dimensions for grammar, for vocabulary, soft skills, and the systems, we need to understand the nature of language and how people use the language. That's why I decided to come up with a Unit 9 from Brown, Learning a Second Culture, and to adapt it for this day and age. which is cultural diversity or cross-cultural communication, which is awareness of language and awareness of culture and society, the impact that language has on society and the other way around. You already have a definition of idioms because we work with irreversible verbs, if you can remember, and with different idioms. And you know that an idiom is an expression whose meaning is different from the meanings of the individual words it contains. An example of this could be the word couch. The word couch means sofa, okay, furniture. The word potato is a vegetable, okay, it's vegetable. They mean something very specific, okay. When you think about potato, you say, oh, mashed potato, right? When you think of your couch, you're thinking of having a rest, you know, being comfortable, etc. Now, what happens if you put it together and you use the idiom couch potato? What is the meaning of couch potato? Well, the meaning changes dramatically. The meaning becomes different. And the order of the idiom cannot be modified, otherwise the meaning will be lost. There are these pieces of research that people have conducted recently on how we foreign language learners are used to changing the order of idioms and some fixed phrases. We usually do it because of L1 constraints. And well, it's not that we are not understood, but we change a little bit the order, you know. An example could be it's raining cats and dogs. Instead of saying cats and dogs, we change the order and say dogs and cats. Native speakers, English native speakers, of course, will notice, but they, you know, they will understand. It's natural, you know, because we are discovering new ways of linking words, of, you know, making meaning. But to come back again to the example of a couch potato, well, it means a very lazy person. A person who watches TV at all time, you know, lying on a couch, watching telly. So the meaning of a couch potato, well, completely changes, right? It's not literal. It is sometimes complex to guess what an idiom means. How can we do it? By means of observation, analysis of the situation, of the context, the setting, the identification of the tone of voice, also the intonation, pace, etc., might be helpful for you to identify what an idiom means. Okay. Another example could be once in a blue moon. Well, the meaning of this idiom is very rarely, seldom. Blue is a color, moon is, you know, well, the natural satellite, you know, that revolves around our planet. It's not really feasible for you to learn the word separated unless you want to achieve a different meaning, which is the original one. But regarding idioms, you need to learn chunks of words, words that are collocated and that work together. On the other hand, slang are words or expressions that only certain groups of people use and understand. For example, teenagers, the youth, or the elderly. They decide to use certain words because that's the way they understand each other, that's the way they communicate. Slang might be appropriate for some contexts. If you talk to your mother, you select specific words. While if you talk to your father, you will decide to use different words. We're making decisions all the time according to the situation and according to the people we are addressing our message to. It's not the same to talk to the principal of the school, the headmaster of the school, or the headmistress than to talk to your best friend. You use different words, right? And you understand each other in a different manner. So slang is usually a set of words shared by a specific group in which they can only understand the meaning of words. Slang words are often words that mean something else in everyday English, but when they are used in a specific group, they have a very particular meaning. For example, unreal. Well, normally unreal means not real, right? A topic. But as a slang, with certain people with a certain intonation and a certain tone of voice, for young people might mean brilliant, fantastic, awesome. Okay? For homework, you need to investigate both idioms and slang from South Carolina in the United States, specifically in the Army. Okay, even bad words, bad words are also part of language. We cannot be teaching bad words at school because we are learning academic English, academic language, but we can't help it. I mean, bad words are part of communication, and whenever you go abroad, you will face it. Now, you're going to watch a video. It's very short. It's 1 minute long. Watch a video, and after watching the video, answer these 3 questions. What happened? Why did that happen? And how can you avoid making the same mistakes? Okay? We're going to watch a video. Hold on, and be patient now because my internet just sucks. It's terrible. Hold on. Hopefully it works. Wait. Okay, I'm gonna share it with you. I'm gonna include computer sound, and here it goes. Okay, there it goes.
The Italian man who went to Malta. One day I'm going to Malta to bigger hotel. In the morning I go down to eat a breakfast. I tell a waitress I want 2 pieces of toast. She brings me only 1 piece. I tell her I want 2 pieces. She say go to the toilet. I say you don't understand, I want to piss on my plate. She say you better no piss on the plate, you son of a bitch. I don't even know the lady and she calling me a son of a bitch. Later, I go to eat at a bigger restaurant. The waitress brings me a spoon and a knife, but no fork. I tell her I want the fork. She tell me everyone want a fork. I tell her you don't understand, I want a fork on the table. She say you better not fork on the table, you son of a bitch. So I go back to my room in a hotel, and there is no sheets on the bed. call the manager and tell him I want to shit. He telling me to go to the toilet. I say, you don't understand. I want to shit on my bed. He say, you better not shit on my bed. Son of my beat.
Uh-oh. Are you there, guys? Something went wrong.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Ah, yeah, my internet connection just sucks. I'm sorry. But what? So what happened in the video?
The accent of the man was too strong. I don't know. And they didn't understand him. They thought that he was saying bad words. Words.
Yeah, that's right. You know, the accent was a really strong, but not only the accent was strong, but also the pronunciation of, content words misleaded the meaning of the conversations. It's not the same to say shit than to say shit, right? Sorry about that. Or it's not the same to say beach, right? Or peace. So what matters on stress in pronunciation were present in these misunderstandings, cultural misunderstandings, and also language constraints. When we talk about the accent, we're talking about a natural skill. I mean, we're talking about a language variety. It's not about pronunciation at all. For example, I have friends from Brazil who have been living in Mexico for more than 20 years, more than 20 years, and they still have this Portuguese accent. They don't speak, with the Spanish accent. They don't have an accent. They sound like foreign people. While there are some other people, who go from Monterrey to Chetumal, and they suddenly change accent. They switch the code very easily. Or there are some learners who can actually imitate the American accent. You know, this is quite an ability, but it doesn't have to do with pronunciation. Okay, myself, for example, I have a Mexican accent, and I will be Mexican forever. But I have the proper pronunciation, which is standard pronunciation, and I can be understood here in New Zealand, in England, in the United States. Now, if I go abroad and I live in Southampton for about 3 months, well, I start changing my accent unconsciously, it's some subconscious process. But that happens by means of interaction. Okay. The more you're in contact with different accents, the more likely you are to modify, your accent. But this is a different phenomenon. What I wanted to shed light on was on pronunciation, okay, and how pronunciation could be dangerous for providing with meaning. What can we do in order to avoid making the same mistakes? Well, now you have the International Phonetic Alphabet, right? You can practice by your own. You have the use of a dictionary. You can increase your vocabulary repertoire by means of minimal pairs, synonyms, antonyms. You know how to use suffixes, right? Uh, you are more aware about language, and now you can make decisions on what words to use at the moment of having a conversation. So there are certain strategies we have been developing and using in the course that are going to be technically described for the next session, okay? But that are going to be useful for your language development, okay? Um, I'm going to show you another example, another video, and you're going to answer the same questions, okay? Be patient because you know the internet connection is very slow, but I think we're going to make it. Just hold on. But it's here. Let's give it a go. There you go. Oh, no, 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 wait. Oh, you will not be able to listen. Wait. Okay, again. Forgot. Okay. Very good.
I would like to buy a hamburger.
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 No, no, no. Let's break it down. I would
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 weird
would
weird weird
like
like
to
toi
to
toi
to
toi
buy
b
buy
b
buy
b b
a
a
hamburger
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 ham
and
burger.
burger.
I would like to buy a hamburger.
I would like to buy a hamburger.
It's not hamburger, hamburger.
I'm not saying dimburger. I said I would like to buy a hamburger.
I would like to buy a hamburger.
I would like to buy the hamburger.
Hamburger.
I would like to buy a hamburger.
Maybe we should stop.
We don't quit. We do not quit. Again, again.
I would like to buy a hamburger.
I would like to buy a hamburger.
I would like to buy a hamburger.
I would like to buy the burger.
I would like to buy a hamburger.
I would like to buy a hamburger.
I would like to buy a hamburger.
I would.
Okay, so what happened? Can anybody hear me? Are you there, guys?
Pues puede ser que el acento del señor, como es muy marcado y muy fuerte, a la hora de intentar pues pronunciar las palabras como se debería en el otro idioma, puede que le cueste, porque no tiene esa facilidad con la boca o los movimientos de la lengua que se tienen que hacer o alguna cosa de esas.
Yeah. Okay, fair. Yeah, my fair. Thank you for that. You're right. Okay. This guy was French. Okay, this person was French. French and Italian people find it a little bit hard, you know, to produce the vowel sounds that we have in English. Remember that we have for about 15 vowel sounds in English, while in Spanish we only have 5, right? So what happens? Our body is made up for us to produce Spanish sounds. 5 vowel sounds, our stomach, our throat, our teeth, our lips, you know, our palate, our tongue, our cheeks. They are made for reproducing Spanish sounds. When you listen to a different vowel sound, you recognize it. Okay, you say, okay, that sounds different, but you want to reproduce it, and you need to work out your muscles. Sorry. Sorry. Yeah. Again. Who was there participating? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. What happened? Are you there?
Creo que mi compañera tiene problemas con su micrófono.
Ah, okay, thank you. Oh my God, I was getting really scared. I said, am I alone? Thank you. Well, so we need to work out with our muscles by means of drilling, you know, repetitions in front of a mirror with a pencil, trying to reproduce these sounds. We are not made for reproducing because we are used to speaking Spanish all the time. That happens to all people around the world. And well, we need to face the music. I mean, we're gonna make mistakes all the time, you know. That's the process of learning. But the thing is to actually identify the mistakes and to work on them. That's what we need to do. Don't worry about making mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes all the time. You know, I still remember when I went abroad, you know, for the very first time, I made lots of mistakes, but there was no other way to learn. So you learn by making mistakes, and you start developing, you know, your language skills. We can avoid facing the same problems and the same language constraints by practicing, because we know now the international phonetic alphabet, because we have internet, we have resources, we can listen to native speakers, we can listen to ourselves, you know. I think we have plenty of resources, tools for working on our language. Okay. Well, we had the perception of a learner, right? A committed learner who wanted to continue learning, even though he was making mistakes, he was committing errors. He wanted to really speak, and that's something we should bear in mind as well, because that's the only way for us to become language speakers, to become competent at the language. Okay, it's a matter of consistency, discipline, and you know, effort. You know, so our motivations are gonna be there to help us. Now, I want well, somebody wrote there on the chat. Let me check. Okay. Now, I want to share with you another video. It's gonna be a little bit longer, 3 minutes long. This video is about cultural diversity. It's a researcher. I want you to listen to the speaker and to identify the 4 strategies she suggests following on cultural diversity. Okay, identify the 4 tips that she provides with. Let's listen to her. Pay attention, please, by all means. Oh, wait. Let me go to the video. Okay, I think we're ready. I'm gonna share with you the video right now. Yeah. There it goes.
Cultural diversity is about how two people would be communicating, and the way they would be communicating would be based on their cultural differences. So, for instance, in some cultures, they communicate by not giving eye contact, and that's considered as a sign of respect. In other cultures, to give eye contact means you're giving attention. So, it's just acknowledging that people do communicate in a different way. Cultural diversity covers a number of differences. So when we're talking about differences in relation to behavior, attitude, differences in relation to values, to beliefs, gender differences, status differences. So there are a number of differences that would then come under the umbrella of cultural diversity. There are 4 tips that you could consider when you're interacting with somebody who is from a different cultural background to you. So the first tip I would suggest is using your observation skills. Observe how they're behaving, observe how they're interacting with you, observe their body language, and as far as possible, try and mirror and match the body language. So in some cultures, people like to sit and lean forward when they're interacting. And if you lean back, you're giving a message that you're not interested, which they would consider as an insult. So if you match how the other person is behaving, then the rapport will be building, and then you can then move on to the common areas that are there for the points of discussion. So that's tip number 1. The second tip is appreciate differences. Some cultures do behave very, very differently, which in other cultures would be considered as derogatory or insulting. So for instance, if you go to India, timekeeping is not so important there. People are fairly laid back, and they are not as bothered about timekeeping. If you go to Switzerland, as an example, if you're a minute late, it's considered as a real insult. So just be aware that there are differences in what's expected and in styles of communication. So appreciate differences. Another example I can give to you is in Northern Europe, people would communicate by giving facts. In Italy, people would communicate by sharing a lot of emotions. In Japan, people communicate by building harmony. And in India, people would communicate by asking about families. Okay, so when you're talking about differences in culture, it's about being adaptable to, so if I was interacting with somebody from Northern Europe, I would think, oh, well, they're just going to ask me about facts and figures rather than asking me about personal life, and I would then adapt myself to accommodate what their needs are. The third tip, which is really important, is don't assume that because that person represents that country, that he or she is going to behave like everybody else. It's about respecting the individual concerned. So they would be behaving and interacting with you, which is about their personal values and beliefs. So it's about respecting the individual concerned. And the last tip is about patience, fundamentally. I was interacting with somebody from southern India in English, and when I'd said to him, how are you? A very simple question. In UK, the response would be, I'm fine, how are you? Whereas in some parts of the world, they'll give you 20 sentences to explain how they are, which in UK, that would be covered in 2 sentences. So cultural diversity is also about being patient, that their style of communicating may take longer than what you're used to, and it's just about persevering through those patience.
Okay, so what were the tips that the speaker provided with regarding cultural diversity? She was talking about appreciating differences, differences on behavior, religion, traditions, culture, gender, etc. So it's not only about appreciating those differences, but also respecting the differences. We should respect the individual concerns. When we are learning a foreign language, we are also learning that different culture and a different way of thinking. And that's likely to enhance critical thinking, to understand others rather than tolerate, because the connotation of the word tolerance might be to extend. You don't stand others' behavior or others' ways of thinking, but you understand them, and that's even more important. And that's what cultural diversity is all about. She also suggested observing carefully. Whenever you're talking to a person, you observe how they move, you observe how they gesticulate, their expressions, their moods, so that you can keep up with the rhythm of the conversation. So your observation skills might be really helpful when having a real conversations, communication. Another one is patience. You need to become really patient when it comes to dealing with other emotions, with other feelings, and with other ways of thinking. You need to be patient because sometimes, you need to dimension the differences between two people, and among people, as a matter of fact. Just think of the differences you have with your friends. You're quite different. You have unique characteristics. Imagine what happens when you meet up people from a different city, from a different country, from a different continent, from a different planet. No, I mean a different continent. Well, of course, the differences are going to be bigger, and the changes are going to be more dramatic. So, well, when it comes to cultural diversity and learning a second culture, learning a foreign language, we need to be respectful. We need to appreciate differences. We need to be patient, and we need to work on our observation skills for us to project a mirror effect. Okay. I want to show you another video, well, a couple of videos for you to dimension those differences. They are really short and I think they are really insightful, okay? I'm gonna share the videos with you now. The volume is gonna be really low, but don't worry, just focus on the video. Hold on. Okay, here it goes.
Gestures around the world. Greetings differ depending on cultures. In Mali, West Africa, they kiss each other's hand. In Turkey, it's a way of bargaining. And in America, a firm classic handshake is important.
75, 120, 150, 125, 150, 125, 140. Yeah, it's gonna make that.
A strong, firm handshake is important in Western countries and in business situations.
Hi there.
Kissing is another form of greeting in countries in Latin America, in the Middle East, and in Europe. The number of kisses varies per region, sometimes even cities, such as the common greeting between friends is hugging in America and other English-speaking countries. In Asia, bowing is the appropriate greeting. These two Korean traditional bows are only used in very formal settings today. The thumbs up gesture in many countries means great or good job. However, in the Middle East, it is equivalent to the middle finger. And now the V sign has many different meanings. In Asia, they use it while taking pictures. In many countries, it means peace or victory. However, in the UK, it's an insult. The horns can mean rock and roll, but in Italy, it is an insult that means your wife is unfaithful. To gesture, come here in Asia, the palm points down. While in many English-speaking countries, the palm points up. Go away is the same. Using one finger to call a woman over in Australia can be a serious insult. The gesture that means A-OK in America means worthless in France and money in Korea and Japan. Pointing with one finger in many countries is considered rude. In the Philippines, they point with their lips. Pointing with the full hand is a good option. The gesture for crazy often looks like this. However, in Japan, it is important to be careful because counterclockwise means crazy, while clockwise means smart. The gesture for yes is often thought to be universal. However, in India, they wobble their head from side to side to say yes. There are also variations for saying no. In Greece, they toss their head up. In Japan, They wave their hand in front of their nose like our gesture for stinky. Ew, stinky. No. In Finland, crossing your arms means arrogance. In America, pushing your nose up shows that someone's snobby. Both of these gestures means naughty in America. In Korea, when accepting money, gifts, or a drink, all both hands.
Okay, so you check a couple of cultural differences there. Okay, we're going to watch another video, which is another illustration, representation of cultural differences. Okay, wait a sec. This one. Wait a sec, it's gonna be here. It's loading. Supposedly. And we're gonna watch it and then you're gonna explain me what happened. There it goes.
The English believe it's a slur on your host's food if you don't clear your plate. Whereas the Chinese feel you're questioning their generosity if you do. At HSBC, we never underestimate the importance of local knowledge. Which is why we have local banks staffed by local people in over 80 countries across the globe. HSBC, the world's local bank.
Well, okay, this was from HSBC. It's not that I'm, fostering the bank or anything similar, but it was really interesting, for acknowledging the differences around the world. So, well, the problem here, who wants to explain what the problem was here regarding communication? Any volunteer?
The behavior, and in this case, the English person is get used to empty their dish, their plate, and the Chinese persons and the Chinese people is look at this like a compliment or I don't know, cumplido. And they continue offering many dishes as he can eat. Yeah,
that's right. Correct. You're right. In England, you usually clear up your plate whenever you finish so that you can show that you're satisfied and that you're really thankful about the food. But in China, it's the opposite. If you clear up the plate, it means that you're questioning their generosity, right? But if you leave a little bit of food there, it means that you're satisfied and that you're really full, that you don't want to eat anymore. So that was the communication constraint. It has to do with culture, right? But it also has to do with the way we communicate by means of different tools. I'm gonna show you another video. It's gonna be really short, okay? There you go. Okay, it's loading. There it goes.
People who weren't at our last meeting. Then we'll move on to the department.
Some American management consultants recommend having meetings standing up to save time. Which wouldn't suit this Japanese chairman who likes to take the time to contemplate what is being discussed. It's fine to get some shut-eye in Thailand, but not like this. Showing the soles of your feet is one of the rudest things you can do. And this hand gesture, in parts of Greece, would also be frowned upon. At HSBC, we never underestimate the importance of local knowledge, particularly when it comes to your money, because what we learn in one country can directly benefit our customers in another. HSBC, the world's local bank.
Okay, so you watch the differences there, right? Cultural differences, gestures, language, behavior, traditions, etc. Any comments? No, no comments. Okay, then we're going to continue with the presentation. Now, for homework, this is going to be part of your evaluation. You need to go and present in teams, in trios, the following information of a country. The countries are Jamaica. Just give me a sec. Wait. Please give me a sec. I'm so sorry. Well, I have an emergency here at home. Let's finish up this. The presentation is going to be about Jamaica, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, Canada, the United States, England, Scotland, Ireland, and maybe Wales. You're going to be divided in the following manner, okay? Pay attention, please. Pay attention. Alessandra, Judith Alessandra, Yvonne Valderas, and Victor are going to work together. And you're going to present Jamaica. Next, Stephanie Candelero, Janet Montserrat, and Aldair are going to work together as a team to present Australia. Tonatsin Paloma, Max, and Lucia de Rosario are going to present New Zealand. Joali, Jocelyn, and Kira Sarai are going to present South Africa. Alan, Raul, Elrich, and Daniela are going to present Canada. Judith, Frida, Frida, Judith, and Noemi are going to present the United States. Yeah, am I right? Wait. And Roberto Javier, Jose Antonio, and Bala are gonna present England. Angel Suriel, okay, Angel Suriel, Luciana, and Jose de Jesus are gonna present Alejandra and Maria Fernanda. Sorry, my internet is a bit weak. I'm gonna present Javier and Maria Fernanda are going in Ireland. Okay. So you're gonna work in trios. You need to include that information: official language, currency, capital city, pronunciation, spelling, idioms, slang, behavior, traditions, lifestyle, job opportunities, food, music, sports, universities which might offer a BA in languages. And at the end of the presentation, one activity about the audience understanding of the information you presented. The instructions of the task can be found on Eminus, okay? If you go to Eminus, you will find the instructions there. I'm gonna share that with you in a moment. I'm gonna share the instructions. Hold on. You go to evaluations. There on evaluations, you will find second presentation, cultural diversity. You will see that you have until December the 1st, which is next Tuesday. So please organize yourself and work collaboratively. And you have the instructions in detail for you to follow them. You need to upload your video to YouTube platform just like the previous time, and you have the evaluation criteria here. You share the link here. The 3 members of the team upload the link here so that I can check it. Okay. Well, check it in detail, and if you have any questions, you can send me an email and I'll write back to you. I promise. This is 10% of your evaluation, so make sure you make an effort regarding this task. Does anybody have a question? Just very fast because I need to leave. I'm sorry, but this is, you know, I'm just moved. I'm arranging everything here in my new house, including internet. So I apologize to you. Does anybody have a question so that we can solve it very fast? Are you there, guys? By the way.
Yes, teacher.
Yes.
Thank God. Thank God. Anyways, this session is going to be recorded, you know, it's been recording and it's going to be uploaded to Eminos, of course. No questions? Well, thank you very much. Have a lovely day. And, well, if you have any questions, you can send me an email, okay? The session is going to be uploaded to Eminos as usual for you to watch it again.
Thanks,
Yes,
teacher.
teacher. Thank you.
Thank you for your
Thank
understanding.
you.
And sorry for the internet constraints.
Thank you.
Don't you worry, teacher.
Don't worry.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Take care.
Thank you, you too.
Thanks.
Get in touch and work collaboratively, please. Bye.